Hi, thanks for joining us here at Feltalala. We're on our back porch. You can hear the birds singing. It's a beautiful day and a wonderful day to spend some time with this lovable character, Piglet. So this is a piglet that I've recreated based on the illustrations by EH Shepard in A. Milne's original 1926 Winnie the Pooh. So let's make a little piglet. We have a gallery watching us. We have Winnie the Pooh. You can find our videos on making Winnie the Pooh as well. Feltalala on YouTube. Here's our Peter Rabbit. And of course, order these kits from us. They'll have everything that you need. Here's Izzy the Grizzly. She was our first little friend that we made. And this is also a Beatrix Potter character. And I haven't made the video for her soon, but I plan to because I just find her so delightful. So they're going to watch on as we make a piglet. Now the pink that I have, when I made the piglet that I showed you, the pink that I had was deeper, and I much prefer to have the lighter piglet color. And this is Roving, and Roving has long strands, and it's nice for some kind of work. For this creating of bodies and things, what I really like to do is to layer it a bit with a crisscross so that it's not quite so lined up. Let's put that one that way. And then we'll put another one this way. We'll see how that goes. So you see for Piglet, he has his big red balloon. So there's that, just largely a circle. His body is more of an elliptical shape. So we have an elliptical. Same with the head, 2 ellipticals, 1, 2, 3, 4 tubular shapes, and 2 ears. And then his facial characteristics. So the colors that you have in your kit are pink for Piglet's body. You have green for his tunic, black for his facial characteristics and for the stripes on his tunic. And yeah, red, pink, green, and black. You'll see today I'm not going to use all of red for the balloon. I'm going to use a white core that then I'm going to cover in red. So here we go. Let's begin with body. I think that would be our best bet. So this is probably not enough there. I'm just going to layer these thin layers. And if your kit has batting, you won't have to do this. It's just going to help. It helps to have, the fibers going like this, because what we're going to do, in case this is one of your first projects, is when you're felting, there's barbs on the needle, they go about to there, and there's barbs in the wool. So when you stab in, these barbs catch those barbs and connect them together. So if we have everything going the same way, when we're doing a sculptural element, I find it less effective. So that's why I want some of these going in different directions. Okay, let's do a couple more. All right. So now I'm going to roll it up, taking it from the end. Okay, our tools for this, we have our felting mat. You have a small silicone sponge in your kit. As you felt more, you might want to invest in one of these wool buddies. It's the mat that I enjoy. And a shorter skewer than this, but this is the skewer that I have. And needles, you only need one, really. But I have two. I have a backup. Okay, so let's look at how long is your body, Mr. Piglet. I think 1, 2, a little more than 2.5, maybe just about 2.5. So we're going to want this elliptical shape that we're making here to be 2.5 inches long. As you felt down, because this too is wool, you felt it into your mat. So just remember to keep lifting it up. To keep it from sticking. So now I have my 2.5. So let's fold these edges in. Now, as I'm doing this at this point, I'm starting to focus on his shape, and you can see he's thinner at the neck than he is at the bottom. So we're going to want to have more bottom and less top. So it's a good time to start thinking about that. Maybe pull this around that we have more on the bottom, less on the top. Let's measure again. 1, I'm closer to 3, which is okay because I'm going to felt the bottom in more tightly, and as I do that, it's going to shrink. This is loose at this point. So shrink, it compresses. As you're felting the fibers in and you're tangling them up more and more, it compresses. I'm making this neck end tighter, firmer. And the tool that I didn't mention is your hands. I use my hands, not quite as much as my needles, but quite a bit to coax the shapes that I want. And at certain points with friction, to actually do some felting. So this needle, these hands, these creatures, these characters, let's take some more measurements now. How wide is he at the neck? I'm going to say 3/4 of an inch at the neck. Kind of a wider belly point. So from 3/4 to 1.5 to 1.5. So our top 3/4, this is looking about right. And 1.5, maybe a little shy, but that's okay. If it's a little shy, we can always add more. It's easier to add than to take away, although you can take away too. That's the wonderful thing about felting. You can change things as you go. You're in control. I find it very interesting when we see comments about how many people who love felting, who were always told that they couldn't draw, they didn't have hand skills, and so they couldn't do art. And that, perhaps more than anything, is what Feltalala's goal is to let you know and show you how you can make beautiful things, because you can. I think it's different than two-dimensional drawing and creating three-dimensional characters, little sculptures with felt. I think that there's a different part of the brain that's at play here. And many folks who've never been able to do any other kind of art are able to make beautiful things with felt. It's just so inspiring and so lovely. And so you get to, after perhaps a lifetime of hearing that you can't do art, you don't have the abilities, you don't have what it takes, to discover that, hey, you know what? I can make really lovely things. I can make things that I enjoy looking at, and I enjoy gifting to friends, and I've found my medium. So if that's true for you, I really hope that you are having that kind of experience with felt, and that we can help you with that. Patience is important. You just keep going. No need to rush. It really is about the journey here, about feeling that sense of calm, being in the moment of creating the shape that you need. So let's take a look. It's starting to look like a nice tubbly piglet, and hats off to EH Shepard because his Pooh Bear is so rumbly tumbly, and his piglet has just such a sweet shape, and that's part of what I love about it. Okay, so we're very close to 2.5 now, 2 3/4. I think that we're getting very close to the shape that we want for Piglet's body. I think it just might be. I think it just might be a little piglet body. I think I want a little bit more of a curve here at what will be the bottom side of him. This is a little more square than I want it to be. Here's my feeling with felting curves. You have seen millions of curves in your life. Your brain knows what it looks like. Your brain knows how to make it without you having to think about it too much. It's just a matter of turning, looking at it, and seeing, is that smooth? So here I look at it and I go, okay, so that's kind of sticking out there. Now it's not. Now it's a nice smooth curve. By breaking the characters down to these simple shapes that your brain is fully competent in recognizing and being able to make, we open up such a world of possibilities. If it exists, it can be made out of felt. This is what I think. Oh yes, see how much nicer that is for the bottom part of his body. So okay, now we're going to do, I said before about using your hands and friction a bit. So I usually keep a little water on the side to moisten my hands. It just depends on how moist your hands are. There we go. So that little bit of moisture and the friction does a nice job of felting. Smoothing. And if you have needle marks, it does a nice job of smoothing those out too. So, remembering as well that Piglet is going to be wearing a tunic, so this is going to be covered up. So, doesn't need to be absolutely perfect, perhaps not. All right, part the first, Piglet's body.